Okay, hello class. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm obviously here today, but I wanted each of you to do this at your own pace. So we're first going to go over some of the things that are going to help you on STAR. A lot of these things you should already know how to do, but just in case you don't, I want us to review it. The first one is super easy. Summarizing. Okay. Summarizing is just briefly telling the important ideas in a selection. You can use the questions who, what, when, why, and how to help you find the best summary of a selection. I always did this on my hand. I did the who, what about the who, the when, the how, and the why. And so it's always easy for me to remember how to determine summary. But the hardest thing that my students keep having a hard time with is whether something is actually an important detail. So we're going to look at this. We haven't read it. We're just going to look at why each of these answers is incorrect and why the one is correct. So, which is the best summary of the music in the forest? Jamie is a lonely girl who makes a friend. Her friend is a cockatoo named Happy. She teaches Happy to dance. One day Happy disappears and Jamie gets angry with her father's company. Okay, well that sounds pretty good, but it left out the why. So that's why you can realize, okay, if I just ask myself these questions, who, what, when, why, and how, then I'm not going to leave out an important detail. Jamie's father works for a lumber company. The company cuts down trees in the rainforest. Jamie becomes friends with the rainforest cockatoo. When the cockatoo disappears, Jamie blames the lumber company. Jamie decides to try to tell the lumber company to stop destroying the forest. Okay, this summary has all of the important details of the story. Jamie has no friends at school, so she spends all her time in the forest. She meets a cheerful cockatoo that she names Happy. Happy enjoys dancing to Jamie's music and doing things that make Jamie laugh. Then Happy disappears. Now this tells about just one part of the story, Jamie's friendship with Happy. It doesn't tell anything about the lumber company. It doesn't tell anything about her being mad. It's just she makes a friend. Jamie gets upset when Happy disappears from the forest. Jamie decides to tell the lumber company to stop cutting down trees. She knows this might upset her father. This tells just about the end of the story. It leaves out the rest of the details. So, when you're doing a summary, make sure it's from beginning to end and has all of the important details. Now, if it's talking all about just one part or explaining things that really aren't that important to understand the story, then it probably doesn't need to be in there. Okay, you can also use these questions. What are the most important ideas or events in the selection? Who are the important characters? And does the summary include the beginning, middle, and end? So, we're going to put this in our notebook. Easy, easy. So this part, we're going to do these in small little sections because we are going over quite a few things today. I'm trying to do them pretty fast because you should already know them. And if not, it's a good way to say, oh, I don't know this. Or it's also just a good review. So, I want you to put summarizing. You can draw a hand. That's a hand, just trust me. Okay, so we've got the who, the what, oops, the when, the how, and the why. Okay, that'll tell you. So it's the important details in a story from beginning to end. Okay, we're going to move on from summarizing. then go to main idea. So main idea is pretty similar to summarizing. It's the most important idea in a selection. So instead of the most important ideas, it's the most important idea. It's the main point that the writer wants you to understand. It's very different from a summary in that it's not telling all the important parts of the story. It's telling you what's the point that the writer's trying to make. Sometimes the writer states the main idea in a sentence and then provides details to support the main idea. The main idea is implied, and you have to figure it out by looking at the most important details in the selection. So we're going to do how it works. We're going to see from this part, and we're going to decide what is the main idea of this paragraph. Javier sat in the driver's seat of his bulldozer and looked at the forest in front of him. The trees had been there longer than any people. It did not feel right to cut down the forest, but his family needed the money. If Javier did not cut down the trees, he would not get paid. Then his family would not be able to buy food or clothing. Javier began driving his bulldozer toward the forest. So, we're going to decide what the main paragraph is about. This is how Javier earns money. Okay, well that is a detail, but I don't think that's the point that he's trying to make. This is how Javier feels about his job. It is talking all about his feelings, about, he doesn't want to cut down the forest, but his family needs money. They can't buy food, they can't buy clothing. I would agree that's the correct main idea. How Javier looks at the forest, well that's not even really a big point. How Javier drives a bulldozer. Again, it's not telling us how he drives a bulldozer. It just says that he does. Okay, so we're going to do main idea. This marker has seen better days. Okay, so the main idea is the point the writer is trying to make. So it's like the summary in that it's going to probably tell the who, what, when, probably not the when, but the who, the what, and the why. It might do that, but it's really just what are they trying to convince? What are they trying to demonstrate? Okay, so that's it on main idea. Let's look at supporting details. So a writer uses supporting details to tell about a topic. These details support the writer's main idea. The supporting details can be facts, examples, quotes, or statements that tell more about the writer's main idea. So if you can find the main idea, then you can find the supporting details. So here's how it works. Rainforest plants and animals depend on each other to survive. For example, many rainforest plants grow on the floor of the rainforest. The floor is wet and dark. The tall trees provide shade and prevent the sun from drying the forest floor. The large leaves also keep the moisture inside the forest. Which detail shows how trees help small plants in the rainforest? So we would find where the detail is about helping the small plants, how the trees help the small plants. They keep the plants dry. Well, the trees help keep the air moist, not dry, so that's not even in here. They help the plants get plenty of sunlight. The trees are blocking out the sunlight. Again, that's also just not even in here. They depend on each other to survive. That's the main idea. It's not the detail. So this would be your throw choice. Remember I told you there's always one that's clearly right and one that could be right. It's the main idea. It's not the detail. They keep the ground wet. Correct. The plants need a wet place to grow. So the tall trees are helping by creating the shade so that the small plants get water. They stay moist. Okay? This is one graph that a lot of people have used. It's you find the main idea and then these are all the details. I actually really like this graph. This is very helpful. So we're going to put this under supporting details. Okay. make sure you're writing all of this down. You can rewind it if you miss a part or don't understand a part. Okay, I'm finishing on this part. Now there are other things that you're going to see. You're going to see figurative language like similes, metaphors, personification. You're going to see stuff like vocabulary. You're going to see stuff about just, do you understand it? Okay, so you guys can be good to go, at least on these ones, if you understand it. You can find it. You're very, very able. Okay, so I'm going to turn the page, and the next part we're going to work on is vocabulary. Okay, I know we have a vocabulary section. We're not actually going to go over, oh, this word means this. We're going to go over how do we find the meanings of words. So, I'll start off with multiple meaning words. One of the things that you're going to see in STAR is words that mean 4 different things. Okay? And you have to decide which one works. Well, really, the easiest and best way to do it is they're going to give you the sentence, or you'll have to go back into the passage and find the sentence, and just replace the word that's underlined with the answer choice. So, Krista's homeroom teacher takes roll every morning. Okay, as used in the sentence, the word roll, to throw. Okay, so the teacher throws every morning. Nope. Okay, a small cake or baked dough. She takes a small cake every morning. Well, it doesn't really have anything to do with class. A list of people in class. She takes a list of people in class every morning. Oh, we're talking about class. Ding, 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 ding. To move on wheels. She takes move on wheels every morning. Now, that might be true, but again, that doesn't have anything to do with the classroom. So just find out which one works. Okay? I really don't think we need to go over that anymore. You really just have to find the connotation of the word. The connotation is the feeling. So I could say somebody is a good person. I could also say somebody's an excellent person. Excellent has a much stronger connotation. It means something more positive than if I were to say good. Okay, and good is still positive, it's just not as positive. Okay, so you're going to be looking for connotation in that as well. Okay, the last part that we're going to go on is prefixes and suffixes. So you should already understand prefixes, suffixes, and roots. If not, I will show you how this works. Every word has a root. Okay, the root is the base meaning. I can say test, and alone it makes sense. However, if I can change the word, adding a prefix, so I could say retest. So it's changed the meaning to mean to test again. Okay, and then there's the last part, which is the suffix, which comes at the end, but it also changes the meaning. I can say teach, but then I can add to the end er, teacher. Oh, means a person who. So a person who teaches. Okay, so prefixes and suffixes are going to help you. I am going to, as soon as you're finished with this video, please come see me and I will give you the list of prefixes and suffixes. We're going to work on that a little bit more tomorrow as well. This is going to help you in the science test, it's going to help you in the social studies test, and it's going to help you on the reading test. Okay, so what I want you to do is stop this video and you're going to watch the second video that I have of what I would like you to do next. It's a quick little video just telling you your instructions, okay? Continue to stay focused. If you need any help, come see me. Okay, thank you. Be good.